extra, read all about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 7 years ago, stand by the Roll Show intro. Roll Show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, and I am the one and only, the irrepressible Craig L. Hayes. I don't know what that means. Anyhow, it is the 15th of August, 2024, and we're going to dive into a subject matter I think is extremely important, knowing where we're heading for this election. This election is going to determine an awful lot of things, not only just in this country, but all around the world. So I have a question to pose to everybody here that's listening, and I want you to have an open mind and really think about this question. First a statement and then the question. The average person in this nation, and this is I fully believe this to be true, and the average person around the world wants Donald Trump to become our next president. Why? What is going on in this country and around this world that people are so concerned about, that they would be so concerned and worried about our election? Not just what's going on in their country, but what's going on in this country. It's very simple. The people who are in power are making their move. They're making their moves as fast as they can to secure total power. Influence and control every aspect of your life. If this nation follows that ideology and it's allowed to be implemented here, every freedom-loving person around this world will suffer. Not just the American people, but every person around the world that has any form of freedom will suffer. They see Donald Trump as being the person that will stand in their way. Remember, when he says over and over again that they're coming for you, I'm in their way. He is literally trying to throw himself in the path, in the way, to be a speed bump, whatever you want to call it, of the design of the world elites. And the world knows this. The average person around the world that isn't buying into a Marxist ideology understands that he's the one that can stop this, or at least put it off for another 4 years, and maybe we'll get a reprieve with another strong president, a J.D. Vance. Now, let's move on to another subject here. The elites, remember, the elites are not. The elites that we talk about, you always want to say, oh, well, that's, this person from this corporation, this billionaire, this person, that, and stuff. Well, there's probably a few of those. But let's really look at this. Who are the elites? They're the politicians of every country out there. They're the politicians that love power. They're the politicians that want to control every aspect of everybody's lives. It's a sickening thing to watch that go on because it is a total Karl Marx ideology, or communist, socialist, fascist, whatever you want to call it. That is their ideology and belief. They want a overpowerful, overruling, tyrannical government to run your life. That is their nirvana, however you want to say it. That's their goal. So why do they want Kamala Harris to be the next president? Well, because she believes in the same thing too. Remember, her parents, she was raised a Marxist. She was raised to be a flunky of Karl Marx and his ideologies. That's what she believes in. Even though she's as dumb as a box of rocks, she will do exactly what she's told to implement whatever the elites, and we're not talking someone like an Elon Musk, rich guy. We're not talking about Jeff Bezos. We're not talking about, people like that. They are pretty much elites, but that's not the ones that you have to be concerned about. The ones that we've put in office by stupidity of voting for them are the ones that are dangerous. Corporations come and go. Rich people come and go. But the politicians who come and go usually implement a lot of diabolical ideology within the system that is hard to remove. And that's where we're at. And that's where we're heading. And that's the thing we have to fight against. So it's very simple. The average person around the world and in this nation wants Donald Trump because they want their freedoms secure. And you have to remember something very simple. No other country in this world basically has a Bill of Rights like we do. We're basically the only country that has a standing Bill of Rights that guarantee all of our freedoms, liberties, and tells the government what they can't interfere with, even though the government does it anyway. And they get slapped down and things move on. In all other nations around the world, even the ones we call free, we would call, the former British Empire, all of its former colonies and vassal states, or whatever you want to call them, they have freedom, but those freedoms are guaranteed by the government. And what the government giveth, the government can taketh away. So those people really don't have the liberties that we enjoy, and that's why we're seeing some of the stuff we are around the world. Is it coincidence that in this nation it is normal to say there are multiple genders, but if you are a realist and post there are really only two genders, you are banned from social media and their platforms for for distributing false information. Okay, think about that alone. You are either XX chromosome, meaning you're a woman, or you're XY, meaning you're a man. But around this world, and in this country and around the world, they say you can have 57 different genders. I don't know if I want to even look at a person that's that 57th gender. What kind of a freak show is that going to be? I can't even imagine. And I got a good imagination. That's where we're heading on a lot of this stuff. And I was just talking about it a second ago, and I want to come back to it a little bit. Like, nations like Britain are not only deplatforming people off of platforms such as Twitter. Now that Twitter is a freedom of speech platform, they're not only deplatforming people and making it difficult in those nations for them to get on there, and Elon Musk is fighting back with them under threats of being arrested for hate speech promotion, et cetera, et cetera. But now that these nations like Britain are criminalizing speech that they deem to be false or hateful. How is it false or hateful to say things such as, there are only two genders? I don't care what you do to your body as far as mutilating it, taking drugs, seeing a psychiatrist and them telling you you can be whatever you want. You could be a fire truck if you want to be. Does that make it that you're a 58th gender or something like that because you're a fire truck, hook and ladder or something? I don't know. Anyhow, how is it that reality, reason, facts, and figures do not apply anymore? What applies is how you feel. There's something wrong in this system, and there's something wrong with the promotion of this ideology. And that's just one thing that you can be punished for. That's wrong. It's absolutely wrong to be punished for saying something you believe in. I don't care if you believe there are 57 genders. I really don't care, because I go, yeah, right, there's only two. But you can believe in 55 more. It's not going to bother me, as long as whatever you say doesn't bother me and doesn't interfere in my life. Say whatever you want. So, here we look at something else here. My question on the stuff that's going on in Great Britain, them doing all the infringements of free speech, all the censorship of free speech, and now the criminalization of free speech. Are we going to see that here in this nation? I'll tell you right here and right now that if there's any possibility of that happening, there's probably one party and one presidential candidate that would be all for that. And we're going to talk about that right now. Why is it so important to crush free speech by Marxists and the elites? Why? Free speech, just saying something, is something you're not allowed to do. Free speech, not picking up a gun and fighting somebody, not having any form of organized rebellion, that's a different subject. But free speech is always the first thing that the elites, the Marxists, Democrats, and any other party that's similar to those always attack and always try to eliminate. They do not want free speech. They want controlled speech. And if anyone says, oh, Democrats don't believe that, yeah, right. Okay, so we'll move on to a couple things on that. 95% of the media, education, entertainment are all controlled or follow in lockstep, if you want to say that, to follow in lockstep with the Marxist Democrat Party. Why? 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 Why are you a part of that party? Why are you in that party if you believe that people should be able to say and believe the things they want to say and believe? Why are you in a party that believes in slavery? Why are you a part of, why are you in a party that believes that confiscating your money is perfectly acceptable as long as it's spent on something good? I don't know. But to the Marxists, the Democrats, and parties like that all around the world, 95% control is not enough. They can't allow 1% of dissent or opposing opinions, debate. They hate debate. They really do. They hate debate. They know they lose every time in a debate. I have debated so many Democrats, and they lose every time with me, and they always walk off screaming and calling me every name in the book. That just shows you their ability to actually have a debate. They don't have the skills or the actual logic set to they can have a real debate. So right now we're looking at the stuff that's going on around the world in this nation. Will it visit us? And how can I be so bold, and how can I be so, I don't know if you want to call me hateful, whatever, to say that it's the Democrats with Kamala Harris as president that will actually move and do whatever they can to help crush it. I mean, Joe Biden has already done it with when Twitter was owned not by Elon Musk. He does it with Facebook. He does it with YouTube. He does it with Google. He does it with whatever platform, whatever else is out there that promotes or allows any kind of speech. Freedom does not reign there. They are controlling it from the White House. The Biden White House is the one who wants people censored, deplatformed, and any other thing. This has already been proven in court documents on the Twitter files. We've already found out that it's been a orchestrated campaign against conservatives. You know, conservatives who believe in free speech and open speech, kind of like what you're seeing on Twitter now, kind of what you see on Rumble, kind of what you see on Truth Social, that you can post and say whatever you want to say as long as you're not breaking a law or threatening or putting child porn or anything like that on them. That's what we believe to be free speech. Democrats believe it should be censored because it doesn't match what they believe. And how do we know that this will happen? Well, which of the candidates would be very susceptible or interested in hearing, promoting, whatever you want to call about this elimination of free speech? Well, it certainly isn't the guy that in the 2020 campaign that was taken off of Twitter, that was removed from Google searches, that was removed from Facebook searches, all these different platforms. He was taken, denied access to tell his side of the story. He's the one that was actually had his rights violated by all these platforms who are in lockstep with the Marxist Democrat Party. And once Joe Biden was in there, then it was full steam on to take and push and make sure these people could never come out and say anything bad about, anything from the COVID-19 BS, bovine scatology, or about anything that the Democrats didn't believe in. And it was always labeled as false information. The only false information that's being promoted and allowed to be set out there without any pushback on it and a media that is totally 100% vested with the Democrat Party is a Democrat Party and their ideology. What do we do about it? Well, I have said a couple times that the wheels have already been turning. Google has been declared to be a monopoly, and they're probably going to end up getting broken up a little bit because they can't control as much as they did or do right now. They can't control 98% of all the information that goes out on the internet. Personally, I don't think anybody should be able to control more than 25% of what's going out on the internet. And I think we need to enforce 203, Federal Law 203 on there and make sure that that these platforms are open to being sued for violating people's civil rights in free speech when they censor or deplatform you for saying something that's opposition to the Democrat Party. This stuff has to stop, and hopefully with the re-election of Donald Trump, we'll start seeing the tide change a little bit, and we can start turning back this wave of anti-Americanism, anti-constitutionalism, anti-Semitism, anti-freedom that we're getting from the Democrat Party right now. If what I'm saying annoys you because you're a Democrat, good. You people are annoying me by trying to destroy my rights and my freedoms and liberties. If you're annoyed because you're a conservative and it's just making your blood boil on what these people are doing, good. Go do something about it. Tell friends. Get out there. Get the people out there to vote. Get out there. Tell people. Tell 5 people, 10 people, whatever they can, and have them tell people to get out there and vote. We have to overcome another stolen election like we saw in 2020 by getting out there and making sure we get out so many votes we overcome all of their fraud. Well, that's my little speech of the day. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. I am Craig L. Hayes. Keep your eyes up. Keep your hope up. Hope is not lost, even though the darkness is fighting against us and trying to destroy this nation. Keep fighting. Donald Trump says it. Fight, fight, fight. Don't stop. Make sure everybody knows that you can possibly tell on what the importance of this election really and truly is. So until we meet again on the next podcast, keep thinking, or should I say think, and pass it on.